You know, a man of my age talking about a bike like this.
So welcome to another video with RiderCamTV, and today we're looking at the 1290 Super Duke R and the
1290 Super Duke GT. Up on top of a windy kit hill in the Gunners Lake.
With a beautiful scenery, look at that. But these bikes, I'm really surprised after riding these bikes, Mark, how much I like them. You're going to say completely different.
No, I'm not. I like it.
Yeah.
I'd never buy one because it doesn't do what I want it to do, you know. But it's an absolute lunatic bike.
I know, and that's what
in
I
the
love
nicest
about
possible way, KTM. I'm not trying to slag your bike off. It's just there's no weight to it. You twist the throttle a little bit, and it just goes and goes, and it wants to go. You know, it's like you're in first gear, driving around, you know, away from JD Racing where we borrowed them this afternoon, and you can feel the bike just wants to go. It's like it's like a little puppy dog. I want to go, I want to go, I want to go.
But you know, we're both adventure bike riders, and I found the seating position really comfy, perhaps not for the length of time that we'd spend on our bikes, but certainly the 10-15 miles that we've done, putting them through their paces, I felt really comfy. But they just want to go. That 175 brake horsepower just wants to propel you into fun, doesn't it?
You can't help but smile. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, a man of my age talking about a bike like this.
What, 24?
Yeah, exactly. But the riding position is surprisingly good. You see a lot of these bikes, these like Street Fighter type bikes, if you want, and people have got their really bent elbows and their knees seem to be out wide. It just looks uncomfortable. This position on the GT I've just ridden, it didn't feel like you were in that position. It felt like you were just actually riding, you know, like a normal bike, if you want.
Yeah.
Slightly flexed elbows, your knees were in, but not like you see some of the Street Fighter bikes from other companies.
Yeah.
And that sort of impressed me a little bit. However, you were saying you didn't get this riding position was okay. This screen is pretty good, but I did feel that I was getting around the shoulders, and even though I've got a winter suit on, it was after a while I would think that would get a bit chilly.
Yeah, well, I certainly found with this one, because there's no protection at all, because this is the sport model, isn't it? This is the race and have fun and flick it around Twisty's bike, and I'm saying it with a smile on my face. I can't believe I love this bike so much, but full on air, full on in my face, which is something quite different to what I've had over the last few years with adventure bikes with massive screens and whatnot. But on the, you know, it's really good. The speed, the pickup is amazingly quick, but it doesn't like sitting at 60 miles an hour in 6th gear.
That's not what it's for, is it? Which
is really strange, isn't it? Because you can't go any faster than 70 on the roads, and people obviously do. But it wasn't comfortable sitting at 60 in 6th gear. It was about 3rd was the sweet spot. Did you find that on that?
3rd gear, definitely. Before we came away from JD Racing with these bikes, there was a guy in there having a cup of coffee with us, and he's got a Super Duke. It's an older version. I think it was he might have said, I can't remember the year he said, but he'd just taken it to Donington Park.
Yeah.
And that is where these bikes are designed to be. You know, he said it's an adrenaline addiction. He said because the speed is so fast, but I don't think you can get the full potential on the road. You can use it. You could probably use it as a commuter with a rucksack on your back and be quite happy. But if you want to test the bike to its absolute maximum, you've got to take it on a racetrack. And he said he took it round Donington. It was a horrible wet day, but he absolutely loved it. Because that's what the bike is for.
Yeah.
It's for going hard into corners, accelerating fast out of them. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and you know these are fitted with the quick shifter and stuff. Really, really good, and that just aids to that. I want to go really quick. I want to go quick all the time and flick it and chuck it up and down through the gears.
Interestingly, this one, the GT, is fitted with the quick shifter that only works up.
Oh, okay.
It's not down.
Right.
Which probably tells you everything you need to know about the bike. It's all about acceleration, getting up to maximum speed. That said, once you get riding behind with it, you know, if you're putting it along, first, second gear, going doing the speed limit 30 miles an hour, then you could feel after a while it would be possibly uncomfortable to ride. Once you start to get above 40 and get a bit of wind on your chest and it lifts you off the handlebars, that's when the bike comes into its own and it becomes very smooth. Also, the suspension was a bit jerky, I found, on this.
Yeah.
Once you got up to over 40, 45, smooth right out. It felt like almost like the tyres had too much air in them.
Yeah, see, that's what this one felt like to me. And as I was talking and into the camera, that's what I expected out of this bike. Because our adventure bikes and the 1290 that you'll see on a previous video, we'll put the link up there. That's got all the different settings that you can change stuff. But this is a down and gritty, take it out, chuck it around, have some fun. But with a trade-off, you're going to lose your license really quick if you use this to its potential. It will far out supersede my potential.
Yeah, there are some differences to the bikes. This one here has got, you can see that just visually looking at it, this is a 17 plate, and this one, the one I've been riding, the GT, is a 66 plate. It's about, I think it's got 600 miles on mine, but not so many on that one. But if you look straight away, there's no screen on the one Toby's been riding, the R. There's a screen on mine,
yeah,
and the headlights are different.
Yeah, I mean the GT encompasses everything. That's more of a protection for the rider, isn't it?
Gran Turismo mode, perhaps.
Oh, could be. so much more of a touring, and this one appeals to me visually much more. It's really weird, and I think you hit the nail on the head when we first stopped, and you saw my massive smile. Is that it's this orange? I just love the orange. There's something about it. The other one's got a bit of orange in it, but this one just says, "Look at me, get out of the way. I want to go fast."
Yeah. The screen on this is quite good though. I mean, I was surprised because I'm riding with an adventure helmet with a visor on, and I was thinking I was going to get my head flipped back actually when we accelerated. But this little screen I found better than the 1290 screen. It put right above the top of my head, which was pretty good. But it works just by doing that. Now that's pretty cool. It's adjustable, lots of different positions, but
yeah,
that was on its maximum. And if I break it now, they won't forgive me. It seemed to do the job quite well. Although I did, probably if it was a bit wider, thinking of the touring aspect of it, it would deflect a bit more of the wind, but possibly that's not what it's for anyway.
Yeah. But little things that they thought of across their range, including these bikes, is the mud guards on the front. The fact that they've got protection for the shocks, as standard, and that the mud guards go back far enough that you're not getting a massive issue with things flicking up and hitting the radiator and braking stuff.
And these have got huge radiators.
Yeah, they have got huge radiators. But the sound of it. As I was going along, I had this massive smile on my face because the sound, it just purred, and it just everything about this bike made me, some mental thing made me want to just go hell for leather. It really did, and I can see why people buy these bikes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I really can.
This has got heated grips. There's standard on it. Mm-hmm. It's got a if you want the traditional KTM screen.
Yeah.
I switch it on. Ready to race.
And these really are ready to race, aren't they, these bikes?
Digital speedo, clock, fuel gauge, all the stuff you may or may not need there, air temperature.
But interestingly enough, when you're looking at all the controls, these controls on the left hand side, exactly the same as all the others, bar that one, strangely enough, because the cruise control is on the left hand side.
Alright.
But the cruise control for this one is like the older style 1190s or 1290s, where it's really difficult to get your thumb back out around there, which is quite strange that they've kept that and changed it.
This is a 66 plate, and that's a 17.
Yeah, so perhaps a new revision.
I don't know, perhaps they've just changed it. But you'll see there's a difference in seats as well. This one here has got two slightly bigger seats, I think, than your other one. Although I wouldn't want to be a pillion on here, really.
Well, you're up so high, aren't you?
Yeah.
As a pillion. But at least you've got a grab handle now.
Yeah, you'd break your shoulders getting it. These silver slots here that you see along the side are apparently for luggage. I haven't seen the luggage for this, but Rich, before he came out, said it does have luggage.
Yeah. And you know, it's a chain bike, which isn't my preferred option. But then this kind of bike, I wouldn't buy for touring personally.
No.
If I bought this bike, this would be a Sunday afternoon out with your mates, having a bit of a laugh, and keep a sensible bike for the longer, sensible trip type things.
Yeah.
But you know, the styling is on par with KTM, isn't it? You know, the can, it's a sports can, isn't it? But it looks nice. It doesn't look. For me, I wouldn't go out and then just go and buy a new one and put an Aquapovic.
These bikes have got a single-sided swing arm. That sounds very technical, doesn't it?
You
Almost
sound like you know what you're doing.
No, I don't. I just know there's bolts on one side, but you can see it better on the orange bike because the brakes are actually fitted on the inside of the wheel.
This 1290R, this is the naked one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I love that, you know, they've got the same styling. All of the frame is orange with white rather than orange and black. They've got more of a white thing going on, and I guess that's so that they can distinguish between the naked bike and the Grand Tourer.
The tanks look a bit different as well.
Yeah.
Between the Tourer and the R, but there might be something to do with size. We'll check up on that, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously there's a different screen for the dashboard on this one.
Yeah, and there is no protection of any screen on this one at all, is it? Hence it being naked.
Yeah.
But on this one, because it's a slightly newer bike, they've got all of the new switch gear on there, which is much better. I found it quite difficult using my thumb to get that cruise control on the older style, but this one, cruise control, really easy to set, So if you like the video, give it a massive thumbs up, it really does help us. Have a look up in the card and have a look at our other reviews of bikes. Give us a comment down below and remember to hit that massive subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our videos, and we'll see you in the next one.